You ever lay there in the dark, with a pillow under your head and a storm inside your chest? It's 2 a.m. and the world is silent, but your mind? It's louder than it's ever been. You stare at the ceiling as if it owes you answers. You shift. You turn. You pull the blanket up, but nothing makes it go away. Those thoughts, the ones you never speak of, the ones that haunt you when no one's watching. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just tired of fighting. Battles no one can see. Tired of pretending everything's fine when you feel like you're disappearing. And that's the tragedy, that no one notices a soul that's slowly fading, not until it's gone completely. They think you're quiet. They think you're distant. But they don't know you're carrying the weight of memories, regrets, fears, and unanswered questions that echo like gunshots in your mind. You smile in the daylight. You laugh with friends. You even post pictures that make it seem like you've figured it all out. But then the night comes, and with it, the truth. And that truth is this: you're scared. Scared that you'll never be enough. Scared that the best days are behind you. Scared that all this effort, all this pain, might mean nothing in the end. And the worst part? You don't even know what you're fighting for anymore. You've lost sight of the dream. Or maybe the dream left you a long time ago. You weren't always like this. There was a time you believed in love, believed in purpose, believed that if you worked hard and kept your heart pure, life would reward you. But something changed. People left. Things broke. Promises died. And slowly, piece by piece, so did your hope. Now you operate in silence. You survive. You function. But you don't live. You overthink everything. The way they spoke to you. The opportunities you missed. The what-ifs that have turned your mind into a prison. You punish yourself for not being better, for not being stronger, for not being where you thought you'd be by now. And you scroll through your phone, comparing your behind-the-scenes chaos to someone else's highlight reel. You tell yourself you're falling behind, that maybe you just weren't built for this life. And then, just before the sun rises, you promise yourself, tomorrow will be different. But you and I both know, tomorrow comes and nothing really changes. Because the problem isn't out there, it's inside. You see, the most dangerous thing about those 2 a.m. thoughts is that they seem logical in the dark. They whisper lies in a voice that sounds like truth. They convince you that no one cares, that you're not needed, that your life is just passing time until it's over. But I need you to hear me. They are lying. Your life is not meaningless. Your pain is not pointless. And just because you can't see the purpose now, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Sometimes the most powerful transformations happen when everything feels like it's falling apart. Sometimes it's in the loneliness, the stillness, the quiet ache, that the real you is being forged. You are not your failures. You are not your mistakes. You are not the thoughts that haunt you in the dark. You are the one still here, still breathing, still trying. And that counts for more than you know. You see, you were never meant to have it all figured out. Life isn't some perfect timeline where every year makes sense. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes you break down on a Tuesday afternoon for no reason. Sometimes you laugh at a meme while dying inside. And that's okay. That's being human. The problem is, you've convinced yourself that struggle is weakness, when in reality, it's proof of your strength. The weak ones, they give up. The strong ones, they carry the weight, even when their legs shake. And I know, you've been carrying it for a long time. But hear this, you don't have to carry it alone. Somewhere out there, someone needs to hear your story. Someone's waiting for someone like you to be real, to be honest, to say, I've been there too. Because pain becomes power the moment it's shared. And healing begins the moment you stop pretending. You don't have to wear the mask anymore. You don't have to act like it doesn't hurt. It's okay to feel. It's okay to cry. It's okay to say, I'm not okay right now. Because only in that honesty can change begin. The thoughts that keep you awake at 2 a.m., they're not the enemy. They're the mirror. And maybe it's time to finally look, not to judge, not to shame, but to understand. To ask, what am I really afraid of? What wound haven't I healed? What part of me is still waiting to be loved? The answers won't come overnight, but the moment you stop running, the healing begins. You don't need a new life. You need a new lens. One that sees your scars not as signs of failure, but survival. One that sees your anxiety not as a curse, but a signal that something deeper needs attention. That your soul is asking for peace. And here's the truth they won't tell you. Peace doesn't come from avoiding pain. It comes from walking through it with courage. It comes from facing the night, standing in the fire and saying, you will not break me. Because there's a warrior in you, buried under the fatigue, beneath the doubt, behind the tears. That version of you that refuses to quit. That fights even when it's losing. That shows up even when no one claps. That gets back up after every breakdown. That version is who you really are. And the world? It needs that version. Not the perfect one. Not the filtered one. The real one. The one who feels too much. The one who thinks too deeply. The one who walks alone but carries fire inside. That's your power. So tonight, when the thoughts return, let them come, let them speak, but don't let them decide your worth. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are potential, raw, real, beautiful potential. And just because you don't see the light yet, doesn't mean you're not headed there. Darkness doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're growing. And some of the strongest roots grow in complete silence. Just because no one sees your progress doesn't mean you're not evolving. You're changing. Slowly, painfully, but deeply. And one day, you'll wake up and realize the version of you that couldn't sleep at 2 a.m., he was the beginning of everything. The version that finally chose to heal. The version that finally said, enough. The version that stopped waiting to be saved and saved himself. And maybe that's the most powerful thing a man can do. Not conquer the world, not win everyone's approval, but to face the demons inside, alone, at 2 a.m., and still choose to live, still choose to rise, still choose to fight for the life he hasn't even seen yet. Because something inside him knows there's more. More to feel, more to become, more to give. So don't you dare give up. Don't you dare believe that this is how it ends. This is not the end. This is the breaking. And from the breaking comes the becoming. Becoming the man you were always meant to be. Not perfect, but powerful. Not untouched, but unbroken. And that man, he's waiting on the other side of the night. So breathe. Feel it all. Let the tears fall if they must. But don't stop walking, because you're almost there. And the world hasn't seen the real you yet.